Jam track massacre coming at ya. Today's little piece is on tapping, right? And I'm not the expert on tapping, but I learned tapping when the shit came out. And I wanted to get tapping 101, so I'm going to go through it, and we're going to start with 12th fret tapping, because it's often overlooked. But it's the basis of the root of all tapping. Right? Wherever you're at, 12 frets above you is an octave. And if you touch that, you can make a bell sound. You know what I mean? So one of the first things in your playing is if you learn to see how that works? So there's 3 ways to tap an octave. You can either, you've got your fret, you've got it fretted, and you bang it right on the fret. Remember when you're dealing with harmonics, that you have to bang on the fret. You have to get right over the fret, not over the dot or behind the fret, right? So you can touch a harmonic 12 frets away, or you can touch it 5 frets away, 7 frets. You can touch it wherever you want, but you get a fat harmonic 12 frets away. Right? So you can bang a harmonic by hitting it right on the fret, 12 frets above where you're fretting, or you can just hit the string right there and press it. A ghost hammer, right? Or you can do a hammer on pull-off. Right? So so that's tapping octaves. And you know what I mean? They get closer as you squish them up. And so then, here's finger tapping. All right, so the one thing you want to do is ghost hammer with your left hand, or you'll always have to start your taps with your right hand. All right, so don't get in the habit of learning all your taps leading with your right hand. But here's the gist of it. When you hammer with this finger, you gotta pull it off. You gotta tug on it some to get it to hammer on, to get it to pull off to the lower note. And that might not be much depending on how good your action is and how much gain you're using, right? So when you pull off, then pull off to your first finger, and then do a hammer-on with one of your other fingers. Right, and then you get that 1, 2, 3. Right, but then also learn how to don't go straight to your first finger. Go to one of your other fingers and then pull it away. That way you get a descent. And when you do that one, you're going to have to hammer on and tap at the same time. Then pull the tap off and then pull the hammer off. As opposed to... And with this one, it's a good idea to, instead of pulling off, to swap out. See how that works? That way when you, if you start with your first finger, you're not dependent on this pull-off to get your first finger going, because it's going to ghost hammer. Right? And then don't forget to use your open string as well. So pull off, tap, and pull off to an open string, and then hammer on. Or go pull off to a string, pull off to a fretted, pull off to a fret, and then pull off to the open. That one's hard. All right, and then also always remember to use 2 fretted, a tap, 2 fretted, and an open. And to roll it down and back up. And with all of those, be able to move this one. Up and down the scale. And be able to these are thirds right here, and you want to be able to, you want to move them up and down the scale in diatonics too. Or at least half step them. And then don't forget to also include the one where you just have a single note fretted and you pull off to it with your tapping hand. So 2-note one. And then move the bottom one around. And then You know, it's real important to get the to find your way across the strings. And there's a couple of different ways, many different ways you can do that. But keep in mind that if you start hitting 3 notes on a string and tapping, if you want to stay in scale, you're probably going to have to make some diagonal jumps, you know, like or you're going to have to find a sweet spot where all the notes are good across a fret, right, and use that. And you can certainly stay in scale with this hand. You know, that's why I taught you how to do the octave at first. One good thing is to play Phrygian a fifth above Aeolian. So do a Phrygian scale with your tapping hand. Just so you stay in, you know what I mean? In other words, use a different position. Tap your fingers in a position up here, you know. So, and then the other really important thing is to tap twice with your right hand. Tap twice, let go, and do a tap twice and do a pull-off hammer-on. If you do that one, with a guitar pick or a quarter or something, it'll give you that real bagpipe sound, you know. So be real careful when you stretch and tap at the same time that you use your ear. So, you know, you're going to want to hit that note. And you've already got this one stretched. But usually if you stretch up with this, with your left hand, and then push to the ground with your tapping hand, it'll make the string work again. It'll stretch the string in 2 different directions. So then, those are techniques, and then you have to get into ghost tapping with both hands, right? And when you start out doing that, doing the octaves with your left hand and doing the string in between with your tapping hand. Do the octaves and then you hit the octave in between, it's just 3 notes. You can pull them off too. And keep that one where it's at and start moving this one around. Once you get that, then get rid of the octave and choose a different degree with this hand, like the major third or the 7th. And, you know what I mean? Start tapping with 2 fingers up here. Another really good technique is to, hammer a power chord, ghost hammer it with your first finger and then your third finger, and then tap onto the finger where your third finger, on the string where your third finger. I can't fit both of my fingers side by side on this guitar neck. See, I'm used to my Ibanez. I haven't tapped in a long time, but I usually always used to tap. When you want to get both fingers on the same fret, it's kind of a bitch. So there's a ton of stuff. I haven't practiced it in years, but that gives you a lot of to work on. You know what I mean? So. See, it's a arpeggio. Major third, 5th, octave. That's, Jam Track Massacre coming at ya. Hit the bell down there. Check out my other videos over here. Like, share, and subscribe.